Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. We're in the final hour of the trading day, my favorite hour of the day, because I get to see everyone here in the group, and also because it's my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. Real quick, during the day, the algorithms and the day traders, they control the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithm because they are dealing with the most money. And in my opinion, they have very smart people, they have very good research, best technology, best information, and I think in the long run, there is an edge in your trading if you follow what they do during the day, or at the end of the day, instead of during the day with the algorithms of the day traders, which I consider just mainly noise. So thank you for coming today. It's nice to see everyone. I really appreciate you coming and spending and investing your time here. I hope it is helping you learn some good trading principles and investing principles, but I always look forward to this time of the day. I always look forward to seeing all of you. So thanks a bunch for coming. Really, really do appreciate that. So, red day today across the board. The Dow Jones is currently down 435 points, down 1.48. The NASDAQ is down 110 points, down 0.93%. And the S&P is down just about 50 points, down 1.38%. So the NASDAQ was green earlier, but it's all turned south and gone green. So we'll just have to deal with it, right? So listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we are going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. And I did have one day I had one day trade today. Didn't work out was a small loss, but that's just how it goes. After that, we're going to turn to the board and we're going to take a look at your positions and we're going to see how those are doing. I'm happy to say I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 greens over there, which is pretty sweet considering a day like today. After that, we are going to talk about trader psychology, the importance of trader psychology. The more I trade, the longer I trade. I've traded almost 25 years. Every day I realize how important trader psychology is and what your mindset is. And, are you in a good condition to trade today? Are you frustrated? Did you have a fight with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Those things really affect how you trade. So trader psychology, super, super important. So I like to touch on it. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. And real quick, I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. First requirement, confluence combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Secondly, a good risk to reward ratio is super important. If you're going to risk $100 with strong support underneath you, you have to be able to have distance between your entry up to the next likely resistance level. And it has to be more than 2 times that. So essentially, if you're risking $100, you have to be able to make 200 or more to the upside. That is a must. And then number 3, please always take a few minutes. Consider how much account heat do you have, which is how many positions you have, or what percentage of your capital you have at risk at any one time. That's very important. How correlated are your positions? That's also very important. And number 3, or in addition to that, it's very important that you position size based upon the volatility of whatever stock you are trading. Higher volatility, if you've position size using the 2 ATR, you have a larger number and therefore you will have a smaller amount of shares. But it's important to position size based upon volatility. If you're used to buying 100 shares and there's no volatility, fine. But if volatility increases by 3 times, that 100 shares is really like buying 300. right? So if volatility increases three times and you usually buy 100 shares, well, you should reduce your position size down to 33 to account for that volatility. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. So I'm going to go down through the watch list, going to take a look, see if I can find something that looks good at the end of the day. And if I do, I will go ahead and place the trade. Oh, and by the way, yesterday we had some potential trades, and it's a new part of the show, a little bit different format, but there were a bunch of trades yesterday that we looked at. I passed on all of them except for one. And so we're going to take a look at those today, and we're going to see. I think this will be a good exercise to see how some setups, if they're not really great setups, how they can react. Sometimes they're going to go up, sometimes they're going to go down. But anyway, I think it's a good teaching lesson. Then after the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. Happy to answer them. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at today before the market closes, feel free to just put them in the chat, put an asterisk by it or emoji so I know it's time sensitive. And then number 3, if you have any new entries or exits today for me, if you could please just wait till the end of the day before you tell me what they are. That way I'm done teaching, pressure's off, market's closed, all that stuff. And then I can breathe and I can get them all taken care of. Okay, so that's the plan for today. Excuse me. So I have a little bit of a cough today. So anyway, I hope I can avoid coughing. Apologies in advance. So all right, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's take a look and see who is here today. Gary, hey bud, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Hope you're having a good day, sir. Quad is here. Hey buddy, good talking with you earlier. Hope you're having a good day. Good afternoon, Greg and the Gossets. Happy Thursday. Hope you all are ending your day with a positive return. Are you being literal about that? Yes, I hope we end up with a positive return, but it's a little tough on a day like today, but maybe you're talking big picture positive return, Quad. Tracy Peterson, hey, how you doing, Trace? Hey, Greg and the Gosseteers. Hey, Tracy, and if Paxton's there with you, please give him my best. And thanks for saying hello, Trace. Quad says, the Gosseteers, I like that. Glenn is here. Hey, Glenn, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Kamal, hey, Greg and gang. Hey, Kamal, good to see you, bud. Appreciate you as always. Ava is here. Happy day, everyone. Hello, Ava. Hope you are having a good day, ma'am. Bob is here. Hello, everyone. Hey, Bob, good to see you, my friend. Ahmad is here. Hey, Ahmad, good to see you. Hi, Greg and gang. Hello, Ahmad. Dirk says, back from long time ago. I remember Dirk. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming back, Dirk. Hope you're having a good day. Frank is here. Hey, Greg and group. Hey, Mr. Frank. Trading Poet, thank you so much for coming as always and everything that you contribute to the group. Ahmad says, Greg, I got into pets yesterday and was wondering about appropriate stop for obviously whenever you get a chance. Yeah, I'm in pets today as well, unfortunately, but my stop on this was way up here, Ahmad. So closed above 200. I like the trade for several reasons. I'll go over it in a minute, but this just collapsed on me today, unfortunately. But this is such a big mover. This is very important to use position or ATR to figure out your position size, because it will force you to buy a smaller position size based upon the volatility. But yeah, this is a big one. I haven't had this big of a loss for a minute. And this purple line down here, this is my emergency stop. Hasn't quite got there. Haven't hit an emergency stop in a while, but it does happen. But the appropriate stop for me anywhere, Ahmad, is a close below this 200-day moving average. And so I will get out of this, barring some miracle, with the close back over the 200. Yuvar is here. Hello. Good to see you, Yuvar. Hope you're having a good day, sir. Always nice to see you. Steve Burns is here. Hello, everyone. Hey, Steve. Thank you for coming today, as always. And I really appreciate it. I know everyone else does. And it's always a thrill to have the great Steve Burns with us right here. Be able to rub shoulders with, or elbows with, or whatever. Whatever you're rubbing with, right? Hey, Frank has a poem for us. Let's take a look. The stock not taken. It will still be there in the morning when you awaken. Better to pass than lose and be shaken. When holding cash, you don't need to be rash. Discipline and the market often clash. Oh, so true. So true. Let me read it one more time. The stock not taken. It will still be there in the morning when you awaken. Better to pass than lose and be shaken. When holding cash, you don't need to be rash. Discipline and the market often clash. Yep, that is so true. Sometimes the money sitting in cash burns a hole in your pocket, right? And just be patient. Wait for a correct entry. Steve says, I was lucky to be in Apple and AMD only today. Yes, AMD's up today, which is really, really nice. And I'm going to go over those in a minute. And Karen is here. Hello, traders. Hello, Karen. Good to see you. Hope you are having a good day. Ahmad says, thanks, Greg. Love it. At Frank. Great reminder. Yep, totally great reminder. All right. Well, speaking of pets, here we go. As ugly as it is, I did buy Pet Express yesterday here. I like the trade. I would still take this trade again if it happened. Here we have a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. Yesterday's big movement up with big volume took out that fractal. Also closed above the 200-day, which, it didn't respect the 200-day today. That's obviously not how I wanted it to work out, but that's how it works out. And again, like I said, it almost got down here to my emergency stop, which is $2.90 from my entry. So any close under the 200-day moving average here, I'm just going to have to go ahead and take my lumps on this one. SPY. Okay, real quick. You'll never hear about this again. I did make a video that I uploaded up to YouTube last night explaining the whole overnight SPY trade in detail, 16 minutes worth. So anybody's new, anybody's wondering what the overnight SPY trade is, just go to the playlist in my YouTube channel under the lessons playlist and you will see it. So I did buy SPY yesterday at the close at 356.67. Sold it this morning for 355.57. So I did take a little over $1 loss on that trade, but obviously not fun to take a loss, but I'm really glad I sold at the open instead of holding it because we are much lower now. All right, finally a profitable trade on today. I did buy the VIX back here at 1991. Ramble Ron is also long the VIX at 1939, and Quad, I believe, bought the VIX with me the same day. I bought with the under 30, over 30, and the under the negative third, over the negative third ATR channel. After I bought it, it just went down, but today it is up. I have hit 2 profit targets today. One here at 1969, one here at 2034. And this is up nicely today, up 7.77%. So that helps a little bit, take a little bit of the loss away that I had in pets. So I always like having a little VIX. I don't have it just to have it, but whenever I get a valid signal, I'm happy to have it because on days like today it does offset. But I'm really glad that it's up nicely today. And then Apple. I did buy Apple. Let me go over here. I did buy Apple with the 1030 EMA crossover. See, here's the pink line. That's the 10. The gray line is the 30. I bought here at 116.58. This is the clean chart. I'm going to go over to the other chart. But I bought here at 116.58. It's 119.28. And Steve is long from 117.79 on the same signal. Frank has a 10% runner from his 111 entry price. Yas is in from 116, sold half yesterday, and then Gary is in nicely down at 108. So we are all in at different prices, but Steve and Yas, well, I'm not sure Yas did. Steve and Johan and myself are in from the 1030 EMA crossover. And so it is down a little bit today, but it is still up nicely on the trade. So that's all I have today. Pets, well, Pets has come back. Glad for that. Only down 7.13%. Overnight SPY trade, just over $1 loss. VIX up 6.83%. And then Apple only down 0.10%. And then I did have a day trade today on Apple. It was a real quick one. Immediately went against me. Here we had a bounce at the 30 and a V1. I didn't buy it here. I waited to see if it would come back down and test that halfway mark. I did buy it at 118.88. I would get out with a close below basically this level, and then the next bar just just plunged on me, and that was the bottom, and it just went up. So that's how it happened. So 118.88, I sold at 118.61, so I lost 27 cents on the trade. Not too bad, but it's going to go down as a negative day in the day trading column, but that's okay. You can't win every day, although it would be fun. Greg, why do you assume Pets might recover? My emergency stop was 29, but I sold already at 30, and I think it was too late. Nothing can crawl back up so high. Oh yeah, I don't realistically think that it's going to recover, Karen. That's why I said, barring some miracle, I'm going to have to get out. I mean, if there was with a miracle, it could close over 200. But yes, I have no thought whatsoever that this is going to recover during the end of the day. But I'm just following the rules and waiting for the end of the day to sell it. So anyway, hope I'm clear on that. Yes, I do not think this is going to close over the 200-day. And when you get down so far, I mean, you're going to get stopped out at the end of the day. If somebody wants to go ahead and sell it a little bit early, sure, I don't blame them. The only risk you take there is that it rallies at the end of the day and you sell it lower. So sometimes it works for you and sometimes it don't. But no, I do not assume or even think one iota that Pets is going to close back above the 200. And you're right, nothing can crawl back up so high in one day. Frank says, the tail is wagging the dog on my Apple. Well, yep. Well, I'm glad you still have 10% from is it 119? 111, I mean. I think that's correct. Hi, Johan. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good day, my friend, or a good evening in Hong Kong. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you. And okay. Let's go over and take a look here. Steve Burns having a green day on advanced micro devices. So really nice relative strength. It's always like twice as sweet when you have a stock that is up and the market's down. It's up 0.46%. Not a huge move, but that seems huge when you have a down day. So congratulations, Steve. Steve took the 1030 EMA crossover at 81.26. It's 81.64. I'll go over here real quick and look at AMD on the actual chart, and you can see Steve took it yesterday when the 10 crossed over the 30. Now it's up 40 cents, so really good. And again, on a down day, it's so nice to have a stock that bucks the trend. If the market had been up, I'm sure AMD would have been up much higher. All right, we have Johan and Gary. This was a phenomenal trade. At one point, this was up 50%, not 5%, 50%. It's a really nice setup, sideways motion here. It was a V2. They bought it at 14.29, did nothing in the next day, and then just skyrocketed up here. Johan is out of 3/4 of the position. Gary is off of 1/2, but I know they scaled out some way higher up here, and that's why I like to scale out. It is down 4.75%, but still, from entry to current price, it's up 15%. But again, I know Johan and Gary took off half up here on the big kind of climax bar up, which is, in my opinion, always a very smart thing to do. So congratulations, guys. Yas bought GDXJ down here at 53.20. He told me yesterday he was scaling on the way up, which I was glad to hear because it has come back down. You know, even if it's back to break even and he scaled up here, it's still a profitable trade, right? Because he scaled out at profitable levels, even if it comes down. It is slightly above his entry point. I don't know how much he's gotten out of. It was up higher today and now it's come back down, but nice trade there. Yes. BRKB, David had a nice trade down here with the rejection of the 200-day moving average 3 times, rejection of the 30. He bought it here at 201.42 and scaled on the way up here, up. And today's the first day that it's closing below the previous day's low. So this is David. So this was a wonderful trade, a great example of a very small risk, potentially, most likely, but not always, with a outsized gain to the upside. So fantastic, David. Intel, let's see, Gary sold Intel put spread at $45 expiring in 8 days, so 1 week. So as long as Intel stays above $45, when this expires, he'll be able to keep all the premium. However, it is down under $45 now today, and it is down 3.62%. So I imagine Gary's a little underwater. So let's all hope that Intel can close above $45 for Gary by the end of this, or by the 20th of this month. PLTR, David has had a massive trade on this, bought it at 943, sold half at 1095, sold another half of a half at 1370, rocketed up from there. Big reversal bar today. There's earnings, I think. I don't know if they were this morning or they're this afternoon. I remember David telling me that he was going to be getting out of this before earnings. So David, maybe you could update me on what's going on there. Zanga, Bob bought Zanga intraday back on the 11th at 791. It is at 818. So really nice trade in 3 days. What is that up? Yeah, up 3.3%. And nice thing, it closed above the third ATR channel, negative third ATR channel, which is also good. The Qs, Frank has a position in the Qs here from 284.60, a half a position. Rallied up. Of course, we've come back down ever since they discussed the Pfizer thing. Came back down. Is down today, but it's still up on the trade. Blue, Kamal. Nice to see Kamal have a win here. When the day is down, like Steve with his up day, bought this at 45.17. It is 45.62. It's up 0.31%. So again, really nice to have an green stock on a down day. QLD, what do we have here? We have Ava bought QLD at 95.80. Yesterday at the open, it looks like, rallied up strong today, was higher earlier, now down. It is down 1.17%, but it is still positive for Ava because she bought it at 95.80. Teladoc, Ava also bought Teladoc yesterday with the close over the 200-day moving average, 182.70. It is 186.18. It's up almost 2% today, so very nice trade, Ava. And again, it's bucking the trend. Workhorse, Bob, very nice, Bob. Bob bought Workhorse yesterday at 1916. It is 20.33, up 5.89%. So that's a beautiful move there. Congratulations, Bob. And then lastly, Levi. Johan bought Levi here at 1612 with this false breakout to the downside and a V2. It initially went down, rallied all the way back up. I'm sure Johan was scaling on the way up. I'm certain of that. Well, I guess I shouldn't say certain. I'm pretty sure he did. And it is down 2.31% today, but it is still profitable on the trade. Gary said, I sold one half on HA today and will be exiting the rest at the end of the day. Okay, nice trade, Gary. Johnson is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Johnson. Nice to see you. Okay, real quick, we're going to go down through the setups that happened yesterday just to get an idea. VMware came up on the scanner yesterday. Not a valid trade because it wouldn't have been a valid trade because this V2 untriggered. So Pets, of course, is the one that I took, unfortunately. That one did not do so hot tamale. CMG had a V2, but as I mentioned yesterday, that day one bar was so big, then we washed it out, we went back up. That's why I don't want to take those kind of trades. There was a big gap here, but please, pay attention here. Whenever you have these big day one bars down, you can get a bounce, but a lot more often than not, I think is the best way to say it, they fail. And so anyway, good thing didn't take that one for sure. Twillo did have a V2. I didn't take it because of the big old bar here. It is, oh no, I'm sorry. That's the wrong stock. False breakout to the downside and a V2. This one is up 1.94%. So that's good. EQIX, this is what I was talking about, having the big day one down bar and reversal, and it hasn't been able to get above halfway of that Fibonacci. So that's down. DG, again, big bars in the recent past really concern me. You can see it got right about halfway before it failed. PagerDuty, same kind of patterns here. This was not a good risk to reward ratio. The risk was all the way down here. The resistance is up. That's down a little bit today. ICE, V2, but into the big down bar. That's what's concerning, and it is also down. FDS, again, big old bar here. I don't like that in the future. That's down 3%. Siri was just too high, and the day one bar was too big on the way downside. That is down. Momo, just too extended. Lulu, perfect example of a day one bar being too big, rallying to halfway, breaking two rules, buying it reverse of a halfway and the day one bar being too big, and that is down. Team is up a little bit. So that's good, but I did not take that again because I just didn't think the risk to reward was that great. And the day one bar was a little bit larger than 1 ATR. AT, I didn't take that one down. GoDaddy, same. Day one bar, too big, failed. You're going to see that a lot. Peg, that was not a valid signal because it didn't trigger. TGT, again, scared of the big bar down. It's just been range bound. INSG up a little bit today. So this one would have made a little bit of money. And Etsy down 2.5%. So anyway, I hope that helps when I go over, but I think the takeaway was that there were a lot of V1s and a lot of V2s with the day one bar being down. And you can see the majority of these stocks here are down. So it's good that we didn't take them, although I did take Pets. But, Pets was a little different. Pets was not, we didn't have big down bars. We had a break of the fractal. We had close over the 200-day moving average. We, took out this range. MACD was positive, so it was a much different signal than the rest, but still it failed. And that's that. Okay. Oh man. Sorry. Okay, so listen, before we go down through the results of the scanner, looking for the end of the day trade, let me just quickly talk a little bit about trader psychology. This is from Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin student at trader_calm. I really enjoy this channel. He's over on Twitter. He posts some really good things about trading psychology. You know, he's one of the ones that I'm starting to follow on a regular basis and read the quotes. But when I read this, you know, in my earlier trading days, I went through all of this. I mean, when I read this, he literally could have written this about me. So I don't want anyone to have to go through this. So let's see what he has to say. Continuous emotional trading causes massive harm to a new trader. Emotional decisions make him or her lose money. So you have emotional decision that makes a trader lose money. In order to restore that last money, he or she does over trading plus more emotional decisions. Eventually, even more losses. Same cycle repeats until his or her account becomes zero. Can anyone relate to this? Has anyone in their trading career gone through this vicious cycle of losing money because emotional decisions, wanting to make that money back, making more emotional decisions, losing more money, making more emotional decisions to try to make that back and lose more money? You know, if you have been in this position, don't feel bad. A lot of us have been there. I have certainly been there. You know, you get to a point in your trading where you'll just be able to take your temperature a little bit and understand that maybe you're getting that feeling, like you're getting a little frustrated. You're getting that feeling. I'm very aware of that feeling if it starts to creep in. And if it does start to creep in, I just don't trade as much, or I trade a lot lower position size. But man, it's a vicious cycle once it gets a hold of you. So the best way not to get in this position in the first place is, one, not to make emotional decisions. Just be patient, wait for a setup, position size correctly, pull the handle on that trade. Something's going to happen. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. If it goes down, get out quickly. If it goes below your stop. If it goes your way, be patient with it. Identify resistance levels. You know, maybe take some profits off on the way up at certain levels and so forth. But like I always say, I don't care what anybody does to the upside. They can ride it out for, you know, a monster gain or a small gain. It's fine, right? The most important thing is that you wait for the signal and you do not let your losses grow. That's the killer. That's the killer. So one more time, continuous emotional trading causes massive harm to a new trader and an old trader. Emotional decisions make him or her lose money. In order to restore that last money, he or she does over trading plus more emotional decisions. Eventually, even more losses. Same cycle repeats until his or her account becomes zero. So please be aware, if you start feeling that feeling where you're getting frustrated and you're starting to emotionally trade, just shut down the computer or step away from it, go for a walk, whatever it takes until you calm down, until you get your head back on straight, and until you enter a proper real signal, not emotional signal. So anyway, thank you, Satoshi, for that. And again, he's at trader_calm over on Twitter. So go over and support him and for the good quote. And that was helpful for me and cathartic. And also, I hope it was helpful for you. VJ, how you doing? GRWG. GRWG. Grow Generation. Shoot. You know what, VJ? Today I've had a little issue with my charts on some stocks. And you can see on my chart, all I'm showing is yesterday's chart. I'll put it over here. Maybe it will catch up here in a minute So yeah, I don't know why. I'll check back on that and see if it's updated. But just today, I've had some weird ghost in the machine with my charts. It's some days it's just some stocks it's just showing, it's not showing today's, only yesterday. So I apologize for that, but I'll check back, VJ. Steve says, I think we have all been on that journey at some point. Yeah, I'm sure. If you've traded long enough and it's not a good journey to be on, the best thing you can do is nip it in the bud. Be aware of the feeling, know yourself well enough that it's coming on, and just shut down the computer, walk away, take a walk, whatever it takes. You know, if you have to trade, trade one share, right? Trade one share or something, but you have to get back to that calm state of mind when you're looking for a real legitimate setup. There's a huge difference between emotional trading and taking a real setup. It really, really is. And that usually happens when you start going into a drawdown. In my experience, that's when I get into that. On the way up, no, I have no problem with that. And on the way up, I don't, you know, some people when they start having a really nice trend, they start trading a lot bigger. They're not as careful with their trades. I don't have that at all. I don't have that at all. But on the way down, if I run into a drawdown, then I do feel myself getting a little frustrated, and I have to be extra careful. Frank says, that's more the gambler than the trader side of the emotion. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the fight or flight part of the brain. That's not the rational thinking part. That's the fight or flight emotional survival part of the brain that overtakes the thinking side. Same with poker. It's the same with poker, right? Somebody goes on tilt. If they start getting bad hands after hands after hand, and pretty soon they're just like, you know, you've seen it. You've seen it. I know if you've played poker, you've seen it. It's the exact same with trading. Brendan says, hi, Brendan. Good to see you. What are some of the main points on a graph analytically I should watch for when buying? Well, Brendan, there's a lot of different points. On my YouTube channel, Brendan, I have a playlist of lessons, and there's one there called My 7 Different Type of Trade Setups. I think it's a little over an hour. I would suggest watching that. It's totally free. It's in the lessons playlist on my YouTube channel. And there I really I really kind of go into the detail of all the different levels and what I look at, technically speaking, for looking for buys. But, right off the top of my head, under 30, over 30s, under rejections, under back over the 200s, the 250s, crossovers, V1s, V2 entries. I also look a lot at the negative third ATR channel, the negative 1 ATR channel, but I don't have time to go into it all right here. But if you go to that, my 7 different trade setups, if you watch that video, I think I go into detail about it. So anyway, hope that helps. All right. One quick look at currents before I start thinking about taking anything else. Pets, okay, horrible. It's off of its low, so I'm grateful for that. I 100% will be selling this today with the close below the 200-day moving average. And this was a whomper. I got wumped up on this one. But the only saving grace here is the ATR range helped me buy fewer amount of shares, which if it goes up, that's kind of against you. But if it goes down, it's kind of goes for you because you bought fewer shares. SPY had the overnight SPY loss. We'll be buying this again today at the close as always. VIX, this is up nicely, up 7.3%, did hit 2 profit targets here, so grateful for that. And then Apple, I'm still in the midst of the 1030 crossover. I think Apple has acted very well today with the Dow Jones being down 435 points. It's only down 26 cents. The crossover is still in place, so I'm holding tight on the crossover. So pets is out of here for sure. Let me check that GRWG for VJ. Hey, there we go. It did show up, VJ. Good. Yeah, so I mean, look, it's up 18% today. But listen, this is just not my kind of trade, VJ. There's a huge gap, which in my opinion produces the potential for a lot of movement to the downside. In a gap reversal, it's at a 66.96 RSI. It can't get above that previous high, and you're at the third ATR channel. So, 92, 93% of prices fail right here just by themselves. About 90% of prices fail at the 70, which it's almost at the 70, and it hasn't been able to get over this previous high. So if I was in this, I would be selling this. That's just me. I'm not telling you what to do, but if I was in this, I would be selling this here for sure. But I certainly would not enter a new position here. I would wait for it to come back into the value zone. The important part is you buy at the value, sell above value. You don't do the opposite. You don't buy above value, and then when you get stopped out, you get stopped back into value. So hope that makes sense, VJ, if you're still there. Okay, so Beyond Meat is a little bit interesting today. It did go under the 30, over the 30. It did reject the 200-day moving average yesterday. It's holding above the 200-day. So it has respected the 30 RSI underneath it, and it does have the 200-day underneath it. It is green on a negative day today. This is okay. I'm not thrilled that it rejected the third ATR channel above it. You see how it went above and then back below, but it is showing good relative strength here today, and it is respecting the 200-day moving average and the 30 RSI, which does offer a pretty good risk to reward ratio. Let's look over on the weekly. Weekly rejected the 50-week moving average. It's a big down bar, but it's a potential for today for sure. SINA, I don't know if earnings are, I think earnings are after the bell today, if I remember correctly. So I wouldn't buy it here anyway. It's just too high, Look at this. Let's see, who was that? VJ, yeah. See, VJ, how this stock sin and got right up to the third ATR channel and failed. 92, 93% of the price, it will do that. So I wouldn't buy up here regardless. It's just way too extended. The risk to reward's not good. Blue, oh, how dare you. Blue is slightly red. I was so happy for Kamal that it was up. It is still holding the 30 RSI. He bought it at 45.17, so he's still up on the trade, but unfortunately it rejected the 5-day moving average. So I don't think I would be buying anything here. Gold is up a little bit today, but there's no clear signal whatsoever. I would prefer this to come up into the value zone, come back down a little bit, have a higher low V1 or V2. I would buy that if we had a higher low V1, V2, or conversely, if you had a 520 EMA crossover, I would also take that trade then. So nothing yet on gold. Workhorse, Bob has this, right? It's Bob, yeah. Very nice, fantastic, up 6.41% today. Congratulations, Bob, really nice. Kind of consolidated here into this little pennant, and it broke out above. This isn't bad. MACD is positive. We've gone above the 50 RSI. Where is my pen? So this one definitely could be a potential today. It also took out this fractal. Very good relative strength. This one's fairly decent today as well. Run, I don't see anything here on RUN. SSRM, looks like it had earnings up nicely, but I can't buy this with this gap. This is just too big of a gap. It just offers too much potential to come back down and fill the gap. Gaps like to be filled in the market. They don't like to leave open gaps. So no, I'm not interested in SSR mining. New Vasive. Don't see anything here. Take a look at the big down bar we had. See how we came right up to half? And that's immediately where it got denied and went back down. FCFS, pretty strong here, consolidating here, but just too high for me to buy. It is up 2 pennies here today, but there's really nothing that interests me on FCFS from a risk to reward ratio. XLE has had a big run back from here all the way up to here. We now have a close below the previous day's low. Had I been in this trade, I would definitely be getting out of some here. It is down 4%. For me to get interested in XLE, I would want it to come back into the value zone, stop going down, have some sideways motion, look for a V1 or V2. Or in other words, look to buy the dip. Billy, I remember this stock. No, not interested in Billy. Usually I talk about the big bar coming down and coming up to halfway. Well, this is more of a range. Take the high here, take the low here. We're rallied. We're getting very close to rallying halfway. We went high to low. We're getting right here is about a 50% retracement. So no, not interested in buying Billy. BMRN has just been a big chop fest here, up and down. It's consolidating here. This would have to break out, do something. It is up today, but I don't see anything here. WSO, again, another perfect example of having a huge, big down bar, being able to bounce right close to halfway, well, it's up today, but that's where it's stopping. Think of dropping a ball. If you drop a ball down, yeah, it's going to bounce up, but it's not going to bounce all the way back up. It's going to bounce up a little bit, and 50% is about the max. So that's how I analyze. Whenever I see big down bars, I'm very concerned about them. SWIR is Sierra Wireless. I don't see anything here either. NVAX, I don't see anything here either. DocuSign is up today, has closed above the 100-day moving average, but there just was a huge amount of selling. And if you take the high and the low, and right about here is where you're going to run into that 50 retracement level, and that dovetails nicely with that 50 and the 20. So I think there's going to be a lot of resistance here. So I'm not interested in anything on DocuSign. ZS. No, again, just a big down move. We've bounced. Could it continue to go up? It sure would, but it would take some kind of event, some kind of news, some kind of something to do that. I don't think can do it on its own. I could be wrong, but, and then here's GRG, Grow Generation that we talked about with VJ. And, this to me looks very bearish with the rejection of this previous high, rejection very close to the 70 RSI and the confluence of the third ATR channel. So the two potentials today are Beyond Meat. The positive on Beyond Meat is we have rejected the 30 RSI. We have held the 200-day. The negative is that we have rejected the third ATR channel when it tried to go higher earlier. Can you see that? Let's go over to the weekly time frame. It's just such a big bar down. Just as a general rule, these big skyscraper bars down, they tend to bounce a little bit before they fall. Look, here's a high, here's a low on the weekly. Yeah, we might get to here, but I would expect if we got to there that we'd at least stall out and move sideways or reject and go back down. So with that being said, there's Workhorse. So break of a fractal today, which is good. Under 50, over 50, which is good. MACD is positive, which is good. Plenty of volume. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly still has some room to move. So my favorite today is Workhorse for sure. And do we have a 520 cross? 1918, 1922. Now I don't know if that back tests well. I think I've talked about that before. Maybe Kamal knows, I'm not sure. But I mean, this is a decent fractal breakover here. So those are the two, Beyond Meat or Workhorse. Beyond Meat offers a better risk to reward, but it is weaker for sure. Workhorse risk to reward, my stop on Workhorse would probably be just a close below the 100-day moving average here and the 20. But then, you know, we have the 50 right here. So that's more of a one-to-one type of risk to reward. So the risk to reward is much better all in all on Beyond Meat. So I think I'm going to go with Beyond Meat. That being said, it's going to come down to risk to reward. One thing I did notice here, which I've seen the back tests on this. Whenever you have a gap, see the big gap that we had? Boom. If within the next 3 days you're able to go higher than the high of the gap down day, so essentially here we gap down, if within the next 3 days, today is the second day, it goes above that high, that is also a good sign. That is also a good sign. But if you have a gap down and then with the 3 days doesn't take out that high, then you usually tend to go down. Doesn't mean this is going to go up by any means. But what I saw right there, that's what is my deciding factor on taking Beyond Meat. Taking out the high of the gap down day, rejecting the 30 RSI, testing the 200-day moving average, holding the 200-day moving average, and I think the risk to reward's even better. I mean, we could go up to here. From a Fibonacci standpoint, this is kind of where I would expect to go, but from here to here is definitely, 3 or 4 times the risk from here to here. So I am going to buy Beyond Meat at the end of the day. Yvar says now. Shoot, Yvar, sorry, my charts again. This is only showing yesterday's. I'll put it over here and see if it will kick in. GRWG did finally kick in, so I'll check back on that. Johnson says Beyond Meat and TDOC above 200 SMA. Yes, that is correct, and that is definitely one of the reasons why I like Beyond Meat. HYLN. HYLN. I hope this is not one of those that, yeah, shoot. My apologies, Bob. A lot of these stocks today on my charting are just showing yesterday. See, this is 11:11 yesterday. It's not showing. I'll put it over here and I'll try to check back and see if it kicks in, but there's some kind of delay with the data. Bob says, it's a V1 with a gap from negative earnings this AM, but good relative strength. Shoot, I wish I could look at that. Be careful of the gap though, but I'll check back and see whether or not this updates. Marco, hey buddy, good to see you. Hey, a little late, but I will watch replay later. Thank you, Marco. Hope you're having a good evening over there. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi. Quad says GILD is looking a bit stronger into the close. Oh yeah, we looked at GILD the other day. Dang it. I don't know what's going on with my charting today, everybody. Is it up today or is it down today, Quad? Is it above the 50 RSI? mean, I do like that we came back down, tested the halfway, but if you could let me know whether it's up or down and whether above the 50 RSI, that would be helpful. Yep, now and HYLN are still not coming up. GILD is, Gary says GILD is down 27 cents. RSI is 47 or 44. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's enough, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't take it unless it was over the 50 RSI. Huh. Oh, now kicked into gear. You know, this is a lot of, this is, Yavar, this is a lot like a lot of the trades that I didn't take yesterday. We had a big strong down. We did have a V1 or a V2 on these, but there's no sideways motion. There's huge downward movement. There's a lot of supply coming in, and we've rallied right back to the 50% mark. So no, I wouldn't be taking this. Oh, HYLN kicked in also. Looks like it has earnings. It's good that it's up when it had negative earnings, for sure, but I don't see a clear signal here. I don't see well, the way this, on my chart, I don't see a V1. Was there a V1, Bob? Is this chart wrong? It opened at 2177 and now 2351. The close there was 2349. Yeah, okay. In that situation, the way you're explaining that, I like it. And it's a higher low V1. Is it above 50 RSI, Bob? So the close of yesterday was 23.49 and it's 23.51. So it is a V1 and it got down to. Thanks a lot. You're certainly welcome. Oh, pets came back pretty nicely. I mean, not nicely, but a lot better than it was for sure. So I will be getting out of pets here in a minute. The SPY's making time got away from me, everybody. Dang it. Sorry, I did not buy Beyond Meat. Dang it. I thought we had more time than that. Shoot. All right, I had to order in to sell pets, so pets is gone. I think Johan earnings were in the morning on that. So shoot, yeah, well, who knows? We'll see what happens. But I did not take Beyond Meat because I didn't realize the market was closing. Oh well, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So I did get out of pets. Grateful that it came off of its lows. All right, man, I've got to watch that time a little closer now. Okay, so SPY I got in at 353.21 for the overnight SPY trade. Okay, there's that. VIX, very glad I had VIX. Really glad. It kind of neutralized a bit of the pets one, and then Apple, not much, just down 27 cents. So anyway, listen, if you have any new entries for me or any exits, this would be the time. Just real quick, just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a 15-hour course, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. I have traded for almost 25 years, and I've studied with Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerr Lavorne, Larry Williams. I've studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen, and the course that I teach everything I've learned from these guys, and it's really good. Different approaches that work in different markets. But I think if you take the class, I know if you take the class with me that you will become a better trader. I know that for sure. The course is $1,000. I think it's worth every penny. I really do. I think it's worth more than that. And I think when you're done, you will be able to have a pretty good grasp on what you're doing in the market. So if you are interested, send me an email. Just let me know you're possibly interested in taking the classes. I'll reply and say, let's set up a Skype call. Skype call is free. It's not a sales call whatsoever. I promise you that. I just want to learn more about you and your trading, your challenges, your trading challenges, your goals, and then it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course. All right. So, send me an email, send me a message on Twitter, and we'll get the Skype call set up. And then if you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps to keep the channel around, helps YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. And so, if you did find it helpful, if you would hit the thumbs up button or take a couple seconds to hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. Okay, Gary is out of HA. Man, I can't believe I missed the trade today. Okay, so Gary's off. Beautiful trade, Gary. Very nice. Okay, Beyond Meat. So Gary did take Beyond Meat. Okay. I guess I could buy it in after hours. When I get done with the podcast, I may try to buy it in after hours if I can get a decent price on it. Let me take a look real quick and see what the spread is. It's up 35 cents. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put my order in at the bid and see if I can get filled. Let me do this over here as well. Okay, I put an order in on the bid. We'll see if I get filled or not. If you hear a ding, that means I got filled. Okay, Johan is out of Ha. All right, excellent trade. That's one for the ages for Gary and for Johan. Very nice, guys. That was fantastic. And Levi, got out of Levi. so I'm just going to put your name down here, Johnson. I'm not going to put in all the particulars, but it's right around the same price, right? Oh, Kamal says no trades today. Got into PETS at 30 and out at 29.70. Okay, so you only lost 30 cents. Okay, so Johnson is also in Beyond Meat. Ava got a little EXAS. Okay. Oh, nice. At 121.20, huh? Very nice, Ava. That's a good start to the trade already, right? All right, so we got Miss Ava, not Ava, Ava. Okay. Okay. So Frank's in SPY with me. And Beyond Meat. Just a 10% stake. That's funny. 10%. Um, 10% position. Good luck there, Frank. Quad says GILD is above the 5 in the 10-day, but under the 50. So conflicting signals, it seems like to me. Let's see if... Where did my GLD go? Yeah, it's good that it's holding the halfway here, but I don't know. I think this chart is wrong for me. And Bob is also in. Hey, that's me. I got him. And I got him at a better price, actually, because I went in at the bid. So where did I get filled? 128.73 because I got filled on the bid. So we'll see whether or not I'm happy that I got filled on that or not when it all works out. Okay, so Bob. Quad Racer, it did hold halfway the big bar like predicted. David is at a PLTR. That was a monster trade for you, David. That was fun to watch. Congratulations, my friend. Very, very nice. Quad says, I already had GLD. Oh, that's right. I did not take it today. I'm still in Apple, GILD, and VIX. Okay, so let's put GILD up there for you. And if I remember correctly, you bought it here, I think, right? Yeah, so let's put Quad Racer. Make it faster so it goes up faster. Oh, I don't have Quad here. All right. Okay. I've got you on VIX. Johan says, looks like the review of previous day's setup is taking longer than explaining the overnight SPY trade. Well, I would imagine that it is a little bit longer than the overnight SPY trade. I'm just hoping maybe that it's more helpful to take a look at positions that I didn't take and then kind of be able to review why I didn't take them and see how they did. So it wasn't so much to save time, Johan, as it was just the repetitiveness of the overnight SPY trade and trying to fill the same amount of time with something else. $60.81. Okay. I hope that makes sense, Johan. But yeah, I thought it would be helpful to, take a look at setups that I didn't take because what I didn't like about them and see what the results are the next day. What's happening after hours here? Apple's up 12 cents. Beyond Meat's down 85. SPY is up 80 cents. Well, that's good. All right. So I think I got everybody taken care of. Kamal's out of pets just on the day trade. I have Johnson in Beyond Meat now that I'm in Beyond Meat. And where did I get in? 128.73. Okay. So there I am, 128.73. Just want to make sure that's the case. Buy 128.73. Yep. Okay. So Bob, Johnson, Gary, and Frank is who I have in Beyond. Johan says, don't get me wrong, I do think the format now is awesome. Oh, good. I hope so. I know that SPY trade was ridiculously redundant. It took Kamal basically just saying, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're right. What was I thinking? So anyway, we'll do this for a while and we'll see. But I do think, if I pass on a trade, of course, sometimes it's going to go up, of course, right? But especially yesterday with all those big down bars and all that, I was pretty confident they were not going to go anywhere. And, as it turned out, the majority of them did not. Was just thinking if we can do better on time, if we skip some setups that popped up from the scanner with no obvious reason, as it sometimes happens. You know what, Johan? Kamal has been working on that just in the last couple days with setting some filters so that the results of the scanner are going to be more concise. There's not going to be as many of them. He put a filter in for being overextended. He put a filter in for volume as well. So that's exactly what Kamal has been working on today. And now if there's a crossover trade, Johan, it's still going to show some extended ones. But anyway, that's exactly what he's been doing for that very, very reason. So that the ones that we do look at, there's more of a reason to look at them. Since we seem to have been tight on time for both nights, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a little off for me. I've been a little off the last couple of days explaining some different things and trying to get used to this, but I'll get calibrated in there. But yeah, I mean, it got me off today where I missed the trade. Good thing I had pets in to sell. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sold that too. But I did. Now Beyond Meat's up 25 cents. So that's good. Frank says old habits die hard. Yes, they do. They do. That's why it's good to create new habits, because if you create new good positive habits, they also die hard as well. Or they're hard to quit. They're hard to quit. So what was the final tally on the day? Dow Jones 307 down 317, NASDAQ down 76, and S&P down 75. So, so, oh, Quad, I did have you in GLD. It was just over here. Okay. So I've got Quad there. I've got Bob in Workhorse. Nice day today, Bob. Beautiful. Teladoc, Ava. Ava's in the money there. QLD, Ava's in the money there. Blue Kamal was break even today, but he's in the money. Q's, Frank is still in the money. Great. Zynga up today for Bob. Bob's having a good day today. EXAS, Ava bought earlier. She is up nicely. Intel, the long story of the Intel credit spreads at $45. Just 4 cents under. Hope that closes up for you, Gary. BRKB, David. He's had a beautiful trade on BRKB. Yeah, still in the money on there. Steve had a nice day on AMD with crossover. Good relative strength. And myself, Bob, Johnson, Gary, and Frank in Beyond Meats. Apple with the crossover. No profit targets today. VIX, 2 profit targets, up 6.78%. Happy for that. Small little overnight SPY trade, and then I had the big whomping on pets. But I would take that pets trade again. I would. I really would. That's the key. You know, you can have a really good setup, and it's not going to work all the time. The way I like to look at it is, would I take this setup again? If I took this setup 100 times, how many times would I win? Would I win more than 50% of the time? You know, most of the swing trades that I take, the V1, V2 setups and so forth and so on, they win on average about 65% of the time. Any one can just be 50-50, but over a large sample, over a sample of, you know, of 100 trades, I feel very confident that a nice V1 false breakout to the downside, V2, something like that is going to win about 65% of the time. And most likely the wins are going to be larger than the losses. But that just didn't work out on pets today. Trader Joe, hey, how you doing? Trader Joe, thoughts on SPTN? I think we had somebody just get out of that today. Didn't we? SPTN, oh, maybe not. Man, Trader Joe, I apologize. I'm having some issues with my charts today. I'm looking at SPTN and it's only showing yesterday's data. It's not showing this today. I've had an issue with many stocks like that today, so I apologize. Dang it. SPTN going from 200 to 100 next move. I'll tell you what, let me look over here. SPTN. Okay, I'm just looking at a different chart here. And let me see if I can get Trader Joe's question. Thoughts going from 200 to 100 next move. Well, now that I can see this bar for really what it is, Uh, it's a very bullish bar. It's extremely bullish bar. It takes out the low today. Basically, the bar does this. So it took out all these lows. It closed above yesterday's high. It closed above this high right here. So it basically did from like this, which is very bullish. Now it's it's a touch extended. What's the RSI's 5528? I like it. If I were to, Trader Joe, if I were to look at this, I mean, you are correct. It does have the 100-day right above it. So it might be kind of caught between here and here, right? The way that I would look at this trade is I would probably wait for it to, today's bar went like this. If it were me, I would look for some kind of a pullback as long as the pullback holds above halfway of today's new bar. If it closed below half, that would be a bearish sign. But it's a little chasey, although I mean I still think you could buy it here. But if I were looking at buying this trade or getting into this trade, I would wait for a pullback. It doesn't have to be halfway, but any pullback you can get will increase your risk to reward ratio. Can it break over the 100-day moving average? It certainly could. But that's how I would approach it. If I saw that today and somebody said, do you want to buy this today? I'd say I'd probably wait for just a little bit of a pullback, maybe back down to the 20-day moving average or maybe back down to the 50. Or if somebody forced me, I'd say, okay, I'm buying half today. And if it keeps going up, then great. But if it comes back, then I'll add my second half on a little bit of pullback. So I don't think you bought that today, or I don't know. Did you, Trader Joe, buy that today? While I'm waiting, it's very difficult to say, but that is a very bullish bar. I mean, if I had to look out in the future, would I bet that thing's going up or down? I would say it's going up in the longer term. In the shorter term, people might take profits. It might pull back. Like if it pulled back to the 20-day moving average, I would be interested there for sure. But that is a very bullish. It's a bullish engulfing bar. It's a rejection of the 200. It's a false breakout from the lows. It's under 50, over 50. That's a very, very bullish bar. So if I had to have a bias towards this, it would be going up. And I would probably buy any dip as long as it stayed above halfway of today's the middle of today's bar. Oh, day traded it. I'm out now. Okay. But anyway, for the record, yeah, I think that's going up. That's very bullish. Hope that helped. Okay, well, listen, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go out for a hike in the sun and the snow. Looking forward to that. You're welcome, Trader Joe. Please try to remember, go out, try to do two nice things today. One for a human, one for an animal. They're both going to appreciate it. It's going to make you feel good. Help somebody out, help the human out. Just be pleasant, give them a hand. And if you see an animal, give them a little scratch on the head, little pat on the butt, throw the ball, take them for a walk, give them a little treat, give them a little love, right? It'll be good. It'll be good for the human and the animal and for you. All right. So I appreciate you coming today. I really do. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Be good, be safe. And tomorrow will be the last trading day of the week. Johnson says PETS is right at support line. Is it a candidate for intraday trade tomorrow? Let's take a look. Well, that's in a way, Johnson. That is how Kamal was looking at pets today. I think because if you're talking about the support of the 250 right here, that could get somebody interested in looking for a day trade on it. But Yesterday's big up bar, I mean, this is a level. There is no doubt this is a level. I would have preferred to have seen it come back just to halfway of yesterday's up bar. So the up bar, then if it stayed at halfway, then I would turn to a smaller time frame and look for day trades. That is generally what I do. When I get a big up bar, if the next down bar comes to halfway, then I'll go to a smaller time frame because it has supported the 50% retracement of the prior day's big bar. Then I'll look for a trade on the 39-minute or the 5-minute. So this is not bullish at all that we lost halfway of this, but then we did get down, like you just mentioned, we did get down to another support level, which is the 250, but the 250 hasn't really acted as a lot of support. Look, we were above it or below it, above it, below it, above it. Well, I guess in the recent past it has held support. So yeah, I mean, from a longer time frame going down to a shorter time frame to day trade, yeah, you could key off that 250. Hope that helps, Johnson. Trader Joe says, have a great hike. Thank you, sir. Johan says, cheers for the session, Greg and everyone. Thanks, Johan. Ava says, thank you, Greg. You have a lovely evening. You as well. Thank you so much. Marco says, thank you, Greg. Good seeing you, Marco. Hope you have a good evening. Trader Joe says, Friday 13th. Oh, man. I remember seeing that movie as a kid. Holy smokes, that scared me. Every time I hear Friday the 13th, I think of that. Yes, it will be Friday the 13th, but let's just kind of make a decision right now that it's going to be a lucky Friday 13th for all of us. How about that? All right, everybody. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming by. If you could hit the thumbs up button, I would appreciate that. But have a great rest of your day, okay? And thanks to everyone. Bye-bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.